All right, this is the instruction video for Bounce. So you're going to start, okay, so first of all, we're in Adobe Animate. Adobe Animate up here. We're going to click on Full HD. And we're going to come over here up to the right, and we're going to click Fit in Window so we could see our entire stage. And well, let's begin. So we're going to go over here to the rectangle tool, click and hold to open up this list of tools, and click on the oval tool. Then we can come over here to the color and style, keep stroke turned off, and then decide what color you want your ball to be, okay, for your fill. And come on out onto the stage, click, hold, and drag your ball like so. Now if you want to paint on your ball, you can go to the brush tool and select a color to paint. And then I'm going to use the bracket keys. Let's use the bracket. No, that doesn't work. Bracket keys don't work. You got to use this over here to change the size of the brush. Okay. So let's bring it down a little bit, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to put a little smiley face on my bouncing ball. Okay. You can create any artwork you want. In fact, it doesn't even have to be an oval. It can be any shape you want from the shape tools. Or you could just paint the whole thing with the brushes, whatever it is you're going to animate. When you're done doing that, you're going to click on the selection tool and click, hold, and drag a selection box to make sure you get everything. This is helpful, especially if you painted some character. And then you're going to hit F8. And if you're not sure what F8 is, it's on the very top row of the keyboard, and it's labeled F8. Check with me if you need me to point out where that key is. We're going to call this ball, and we're going to click OK. And now I have, with the selection tool, still have the selection tool, now I can move this around the stage wherever I want. The white area of the screen is the stage. So I'm going to place it up here, and I'm going to hit on the keyboard F6. And notice down here when I click F6, I've got a new frame in my digital flip book, right? And this is the playhead, which will show the current frame here. You can only see one frame at a time. And on the second frame, I'm just going to drag the ball down a little bit. Then I'm going to hit F6 again. You can see down here now I have 3 pages, 3 frames now. It's called frame by frame animation. Drag it down a little more, hit F6, drag it down, 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 hit F6. We're going to work till about 15, F6, to get it all the way to the bottom, or close to it. And okay, I've reached the bottom at F6. Now before I start going back up, I want to hit F6 a couple of times, F6, F6, so that I can create squash and stretch after I'm done with the animated motion part of this, the F6s. Now I'm going to start going back up, hit F6, go 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 back up, F6. I'm going to go all the way back to where I started. And I'm going to try to be around 30, close to 30, because that's 1 second of animation. Okay, and about there. And then I'm going to hit F6 one more time, just to get to 30. So now you can see that I've got 30 frames down here. Whoa. Okay. And you can see that if I move this over a little bit, you can see that that's 1 second of animation. So 30 frames a second is the speed we're going. You can see those details right over here. Stage color is white, which you could change if you want. And we have 30 frames per second. And it's full HD right there. There's our pixel size of our frames, yeah. All right, so I could change the color of the stage, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to instead worry about that on another layer. Okay, so I'm going to drag my animated ball right about to 15, where when it first hits the ground, and I'm going to use this next tool just underneath. Click that, and since I had my ball selected, it selected it, but if it doesn't, just click on it. And now I'm going to squash it, because we know that when a ball bounces, it squashes, but we're going to exaggerate that squash and move it back down to, because since you changed the height of it, you're going to move it back down. Then I'm going to move to the next frame, and I'm going to squash it down even more to really exaggerate it. Okay, and I'm going to move over now to frame 16, and I can start stretching it as it starts to lift off the ground. And then I'm going to go to the next frame. So it takes like 3 or 4 frames to do the squash and stretch. And then I get here, and I could be back to normal now. So, play it. Okay, as you can see that. Alright. So now I'm done with my layer 1 ball drop and bounce. I'm going to add a new layer. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click. It makes it the full length of my animation, so that's perfect. I'm going to drag layer 2 down below layer 1 so it becomes a background layer. And I'm going to use the brushes now and rectangle tools to create a background. So I'm going to go and make sure your playhead's back to frame 1. I think that might matter. So I'm going to go up here, set my fill color to my background color. Let's go with green, and I'm going to click from the top left to the bottom right. Okay, and I'm going to jump over to a brush, and I'm going to set my color for the brush, set my size for the brush, and come in here and start drawing some kind of background. You can see what the brush looks like. Okay, and you could set the width or the size of the brush, and you can use this to create a background, whatever background you want. I'm going to stop here to just make a shorter training video. When you're done, you could do a command return on the keyboard, and that will preview your bounce. So now it's time to export it. So I'm going to hit the X there. I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to save this bounce. And it's going to be in my Documents folder, or if you want, you could change it to your Creative Cloud files, whatever you want to do. Click Save, and then you're going to go up here to File, Export, Export Movie. Oh no, Export Animated GIF. Export Animated GIF. Alright, and so it's going to be the GIF, animated GIF already. You can go ahead and go with let's see, just go with the unnamed. Just go with it like that right now, and then everything else is good. I don't think we have to do it. It should say looping forever. Then I'm going to click Save over here. So it's going to be bounce.gif. It's going to be wherever you saved your file that you just saved before, the actual animation file, and then click Save. And then you're going to submit that to this assignment, and you're going to put it on your Wix animation page. All right? So call me over if you have any questions. Good luck. And you can just exit out of animate when you're done.